Welcome to the Platform video tutorial. Today we are going to talk about setting up new users in the MPX console. Creating multiple users in MPX helps you manage your workload. Your users can log in when they need to get their job done, and by assigning them a role, they can stay focused on their particular tasks. Before we set up a new user, you should understand the different user roles and also a bit about MPX permissions, both of which will determine what MPX console users can see and do. A user role is like a template that outlines what users are allowed to perform within a specific account. If a user has access to more than one account, they can have a different role within each of them. Here are the 3 different user roles available in MPX. An admin has access to everything enabled in the account. This role is meant for a user who is knowledgeable with the setup and configuration of your MPX account. An editor is meant for someone who will be working directly with your content. They can access media, feeds, and reports, which means they can upload, edit, publish, and share media, and create related feeds and players. A producer works only with media. They can upload and edit media and metadata, and also run reports, but this role is the most restrictive. A producer cannot publish or share media, or create related feeds or players. These specific roles help our users focus on the tools, features, and tasks specific to their jobs. A user's role is meant to help simplify that user's workflow. Let's take a closer look at the permission structure. What an MPX console user has permission to see and do depends on a combination of 3 criteria. The first, which user role an MPX administrator has granted the user within the account. These are the 3 we described on the previous slide: an admin, editor, or producer role. The second, which account type the user is logged into. An account type might be sharing, publishing, or an aggregator account. And the third, what feature roles are enabled for the account they're using: publishing, sharing, commerce, entitlement. A feature role is a service or tool that your account can access and use. While an MPX administrator can assign user roles directly in the MPX console, account types and feature roles are set by the platform support. These are typically determined by the contract details, and we won't talk about them in this video, other than to note they do play a part in what a user can see and do in an account. If a user can't see a certain feature or tool in the console, it's probably because of the combination of user role, account type, and feature role they have access to. Now that we know more about how MPX permissions work and the different user roles available, let's take a look at how the console views differ for each of the user roles. When logged in as an administrator, you will have access to everything enabled in your account. You have access to all the views, including account setup and configuration. For example, you can manage or add asset types, categories, and custom fields. You can set up email notifications, see your server configurations, and create users. You'll also have access to your ingest tools, feed readers, and watch folders, your policies, add policies and restrictions, and you'd be able to configure publish or sharing profiles. An administrator would be someone who is very familiar with the account and how it should be set up. When logged in as an editor, I only have access to the media, feeds, and reports views. I can upload content, initiate publish or share, edit media metadata, create and manage feeds, and run media reports. You have access to all the tasks that a typical content editor would be responsible for handling, without being overwhelmed with the views into account setup and configuration. Again, this is all about simplifying the workflow. When logged in as a producer, I have a slightly more restricted view than the editor. I now only have access to the media and reports view. Remember, a producer is more focused on the media. I can still upload media and edit media metadata, but I cannot initiate the publish or share. I also can't create or manage feeds, but I can run the media reports. This is the most restrictive role in MPX. Now let's take a look at how to set up a new user in MPX. Keep in mind that because the user view is found in the account setup view, only the admin user in the account will be able to create and manage users. To add a new user, we'll navigate to the account setup view and select users. Here I can see the existing users and user roles within the account. To add a user, I will click the Add button at the bottom of the view. The first field is the user directory. There are 2 directories to choose from. The first is the MPX directory, which is a user that is defined in the platform's newest video management system, MPX. The other is the MPS directory, which would be a user defined in our legacy system. Because feature sets vary between these 2 systems, a user defined only in the MPX directory will not have access to the MPS console. However, a user defined in either the MPS or MPX directory will have access to the MPX console. For new MPX permissions, choose the MPX directory. For a user who already has an MPS login, choose the MPS directory. The username is typically the email address of the new user you are adding. In the full name text box, type the name of the user. And in the password field, type a unique password for the user. And you may want to jot this down so you can know what to send to the new user so they can sign in. The roles field is where you're going to assign the admin, editor, or producer role to this new user. If you are not yet ready to give this user MPX console access, you can click the Disable Sign-In box. When you are satisfied with the user settings, click the Save button, and now you've created a new user in the MPX account. Make sure you notify them with their username and password. Creating multiple users in MPX helps you manage your workload. We've created different roles within MPX to help simplify a user's workflow so they can stay focused on the tasks they need to get done. This concludes our video on creating new users in the MPX console. Thank you for watching.